Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. You know what? Like this. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button yet, make sure that you hit that. Put your notification bell on all. That way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. I appreciate all your support, man. I'm very humbled by it, and I know I couldn't do this without you. So let's talk Marvelous one more time. Let's talk about a situation that I've been scratching my head about. Okay, I've been wondering why, how come, why come,
What the hell's going on, Marv? Right?
I've been wondering why, with all this shit with Marvelous going on and these accusations and these, him saying what he did and the excuses and the non-excuses and all the bullshit, myself, Dubs, and several others, people have been coming at us pretty damn hard, right? They've been wanting us to scream from the mountains, hey, Marv's a pervert, right? That's what they want. That's what they want. Their fucking pussies are all moist. They need that. They need to hear Big Daddy Gun scream it from the mountaintops and go in. Put a mask on, Gun. Put a mask on, Gun, right? It's crazy. But you know what? Someone who no one has mentioned, who's been silent. You can hear a pin drop. It sounds like the Pelican Bay shoe, just very quiet. Hey, attention, you're in the library. You can only read, right? Just shut the fuck up. Is Tony A from Rodium Radio. And I don't want to put Tony A on blast, because in this situation, I understand as much distance as you can give, is appreciated, right? But, Tony A has been pretty silent in this situation. And hey, man, to each their own. He doesn't have to say anything he doesn't want to say. I'm sure he's seen Marvelous as not only an associate and acquaintance, but also as a friend. So I could see where, man, I don't want to get stuck in the middle type shit is going on. But it's funny that Marvelous was a staple of Rodium Radio for the past couple of years, right? Conversations with Marvelous. Marvelous was over there every fucking day, every episode. Marvelous was there. And none of this blue team, none of these guys that are all together that are going hard on myself and Dubs and everyone else because of what we said or what we won't say, right? No one has mentioned Tony A. It's been silent. Silence in the airwaves. Hey, I guess he gets to do his own thing on the YouTube Yarda, right? Is there fear there? Is there a fear factor? Are they scared to talk about Tony A? Is people scared to mention his name? You would think someone that Marvelous had plenty of conversations with. He sat there every day. They talked about a lot. I don't know if it ever came up or didn't come up, but you would think that people would be on Tony A like, hey, bro, you fucked with Marvelous stuff. Do you still fuck with him? What's going on? What's your relationship like now? How do you feel about the situation? But no. Oh, no. Instead of asking these simple questions about someone who was in close proximity with them every single day, they have chosen to go at myself and Dubs, who had no association like that. Okay? We're not sitting down every day with the Vothel. We're not picking his brain and finding out if the earth is flat or not. It's a trip that people do selective politicking, and this is selective politicking at its finest. Individuals feeling some type of way want people to feel how they feel. That's understandable. Everybody wants to be a leader until it's time to lead some shit. A whole lot of chiefs and not enough Indians, a gang of Leonard Peltiers, but where they at, right? This is a perfect example of Vothels using something serious. And that Marvelous shit is serious. It's a serious situation, right? There's a victim. There's a person, man. There's a family involved. There's a big thing going on right there, right? And they're utilizing that to pick a bone and to to laugh. Okay, we got you. We finally got you. Oh, yeah, you might have got him, or he got himself. That girl got him, and he got himself. There's no doubt. There's no fucking sugarcoating it or adding preservatives to that. That situation is ugly. It is what it is. You can call him what you want to. I'm going to call it, my name's Bennett, I'm not in it, because I don't want to be involved in that. Anytime there's a child involved, anytime it's some weird shit, it's like, hey, I'm going to keep my distance, man. You know what you are. You know what you'll forever be known as. And I know how dangerous that situation is, especially for someone wiggling around Los Angeles, and a lot of people making T-shirts and saying a lot of things, man. That vato got a big old pit of shit to dig himself out of. It's real shit. It's real, right? But, Tony A has been pretty quiet, silent on the situation. No one has even asked him anything. Why is that? Why is that? Are people scared of him? Are people scared to go sit down on Rodium Radio and ask him what he thinks about his homeboy Marvelous? Or it's just not that serious? It's selective politicking. We'll leave him alone because he's the homie, but we'll go after these guys because they're not. Is that what it is? Because, me, myself, I sat back and I thought for a couple of days, like, what is this all about? What is the agenda here? What's the end game? Why has people that started out talking about Marvelous and his situation ended up way over here disrespecting myself and Dubs and other people for whatever reason? Are they using this as a pad to leap and go at us because we got bigger channels and we're successful? Or is it just a situation of, what? Hey, now's our time. We feel good. We won one. Let's go for the others, right? I'm not in that situation whatsoever. I ain't got nothing to do with Marvelous and that kid and that kid's kid. None of that, right? But at the end of the day, everyone sure wanted to hear what I had to say, especially those that don't like me in the first place. And I've been all kinds of dropouts and punks and putos and all this because of something someone did that's from their area. He's from your area, homie. It's not from my area. I don't play that north and south shit, but he's definitely from down there. So you deal with it the way you deal with it and stop worrying about me and mines and what I'm doing, right? Now, Tony A's right there. We're talking about someone who had him on his channel all the time, every weekend. They had their own little podcast. And all these dudes are too fucking scared to mention his name or to ask him something. Why is that? Selective politicking. I've seen it so many times. I can tell you guys a story. I had a homeboy, he was super from the barrio. Like, hey, the barrio is all he cared about. When you get locked up in county jail, there's going to be homies. And when I say homies, I was a norteño at that time active. There was homeboys from different counties, different cities. Homeboys that just got caught up. Homeboys from Stockton, San Jose, Oakland, whatever. Me, having went to YA, I was used to being around a lot of homeboys with a lot of different mentalities from a lot of different places, a lot of different swag, right? So if a homeboy was over here from Oakland saying blood or the N-word, like I was used to that. Like, all right, homie, you know what I mean? That's that Oakland shit. If there was a homie from Stockton, he was straight fucking on his shit, Valley style, Modesto, whatever. And then San Jose had their own little flavor. I was used to that, but this homeboy wasn't. Any homie that came from my neighborhood, he embraced them. And because he had a little status and he was in position, those were the ones that got all the fucking, status and they got all the love and he was shooting them care packages and everything because they were from his same neighborhood. It was my neighborhood too, but all these other homeboys that were coming from different cities, he wasn't showing them no love. In fact, he was politicking on them, slandering them. If they fucked up or did something where the other homeboy had to do a fucking few burpees and an essay or whatever, these guys, man, they had to go do a pegada, frontline status, all kinds of shit. And I finally stood up to it. And I backed a little homeboy. His name was Santi from San Jose. I'll never forget. What happened was there was two little homies from San Jose that were there, Chucky and Santi. And they were workout partners. They used to get it. They were solid. They liked to play, though. They were kids. They were 19, 20 years old. They were young. And I was lacing them up. The older OG homie from Oakland, from Oakland was lacing them up. And we had our cell. It was an 8-man cell. We had our cell under control. Like, we were doing what we're doing, right? The homeboy used to holler down, hey, homie, why those homeboys knocking it out down there? Why are they playing too much? Homeboy, Norteños don't move like that. This, I said, don't worry, bro. We got this shit. It's not, hey, they're just youngsters capping on each other, having a good time. It's nothing serious. Well, there was a homeboy from Vacaville that got in there. And for whatever reason, the homeboy Santi didn't like him. They had bumped heads somewhere else they had been locked up at. And so Santi fucking was making threatening gestures. Now, from one Norteño to another at that time, there was no red on red. So you couldn't threaten a homeboy's life or couldn't threaten a homeboy in the least, right? So I talked to him about it, like, hey, you can't be doing that, homie, And then, of course, Chucky, his little sidekick, his little road dog, he was jumping in the mix, backing Santi up. So I was like, you guys can't do that. So homie right there, regardless if you don't like him or if he fucked up, you just can't do that. Word got back to the homeboy, and he was trying to politic on Santi, like trying to get him whacked. All because, he was being a little hard on the other homie. And now I understood both. Excuse me, my voice is fucked up today. I understand both situations. In one situation, you have someone who's trying to be a hardliner when he wants to be, right? But I knew deep down inside it's just because he hated on other homies from different places. It was all about his barrio. He was selective politicking. If you were from his area, he was going to do everything to cover up or to not speak on it. But if you're from somewhere else, fuck him. If lightning strikes, oh, well, says, yeah, I don't like lightning anyways. That was his mentality. Eventually, I stood up for the little homies like, nah, it ain't going to go down like that. We had same status. The homeboy stood down, right? He could have not. He could have dirty macked on me, politicked on me, and it would have been what it would have been. But at the same time, it just wasn't. So in this case, with the Tony A. Rodium radio situation, it's like, who better than to ask about Marvelous? For all we know, maybe he's seen something we didn't see. Maybe there's a reason why people ain't fucking talking about Tony A. Now, look, I'll say this without saying too much. I know Tony A's been accused of some bullshit in the past, whether it worked out in his benefit, it was proven not real or unreal, whatever. I know that there was some shit going around. People were saying some shit. I didn't listen to it because, see, I met Tony A in real life. I've had interaction with him. Right? Norteño guy from up north is not supposed to be cool with Southsiders, right? Let me tell you, when I did the Cholo Trucker fight, man, there was a lot of YouTube content creators in the building. They were invited. A lot more were invited than showed up, right? And Tony A is a tall dude, thin, tall, very respectful. His mannerisms, very respectful. I had nothing bad to say. He wasn't all pisteando, drunk like people say. He drinks a lot and all. Whatever people say, it's not that. Okay, I met him. He shook my hand. I got a fleek out with him, took a picture with them, with all the rest of the fellas. It was a good situation. It was a thing for the raza, and he definitely came to support the unity of the people. I respect it. There was no one questioning anyone's status or gang affiliations or if you're active or non-active. We were a bunch of active-ass Mexicans putting in work. I bet you were doing that. Not in the gang life, not in the street life, not in the prison life. Right there, we were trying to make our money. We were trying to put on an event and raise money. We were doing what we did as brown men, and it was lovely. And Tony A was there, so I've never had nothing bad to say about him. I know about the Chicano documentary, man, where people felt that they were played out of money. He went through the ringer on that for a long time. I don't know how that situation ever panned out either, because I don't pay too much attention to it. I don't judge people by what people say or what people think. I met this guy in real life. He shook my baisa. I know he gave me respect, and I gave him respect. I've heard plenty of times where people have asked questions about me on his channel, and he's never had nothing bad to say. So I don't got nothing bad to say about Tony A. I'm just wondering why all these other fucking dudes that are questioning me and Dubs about what we say and what we don't say concerning the Marvelous situation, when I've already said I don't fuck with the dude. I never fucked with him like that. I'm not his homeboy from his neighborhood. None of that. I just know that it's very, very serious when someone's dealing with minors, man. And down there in LA, the way they wiggle, I wouldn't be surprised if bodies start falling. Like, it's serious. And I already know the first thing the cops are going to do is like, let me look at these guys' resumes, all these guys that are inciting this shit. Because every time you sit here and you talk shit about someone, you're inciting people to do something. People don't know me. They might take my word for it. People don't know fucking a couple of these other dudes that are talking shit. I'm not going to mention no names. This is going to be the no names podcast from now on. I'm not going to say their names anymore. I'm going to say them, speak on the names I want to speak on, but these guys are getting no clout or no flavor on this fever, right? Or no fever on this flavor, because at the end of the day, I don't agree with them in everything. I'm not going to sit here and say the shit that they're saying about Marvelous is untrue. They're entitled to do their own thing or say what they want to say. I don't care one way or the other, man. If you want to call him a pervert, call him a pervert. I might even call, fuck it, he's a pervert, right? I'll say it, but here at my end of the day, my day ends, right? I'm not going to be enraptured or told to do what you guys want me to do just because you want me to do it. It ain't going to happen. Ever fucking going to happen, stupid. Now, but no one's calling Tony A, though, up. No one's asking to interview him. No one's trying to go on Rodium Radio and ask him. The dude who had Marvelous on his channel every day, man. I mean, every day, right? No one's saying nothing. Is it because he's from Southern California, homie? So you're sweeping that on the rug? Or is it because you're scared of him? Or is it because, oh, man, we don't want to make the homies look bad and put him on the spot. We'll do it to this fucking degenerate gunner. We'll make him, he talks shit anyways. We'll force him to do it. You ain't forcing me to do shit. Shit, bro. If anything, I outshine you on my worst day. So stop it. My situation is this. I'm just questioning. I think a lot of other people should be questioning it. Like, why has this guy been silent? Now, it doesn't matter if he chooses that. If that's the route he chooses, that's cool. He doesn't have to speak on nothing he don't want to speak on. I give him that respect. Like I said, I've always respected Tony A. I don't know about any of the bullshit shenanigans he's been accused of or what's going on, because I never seen what panned out with them. But I know this. If he chooses not to speak on it, and maybe that's his friend, and he's like, fuck, maybe it's time for him to do his homework and figure shit out. You don't know. Maybe he's working on a fucking Chicano documentary about Marv. We don't know. Don't send no money, though, because you'll be sad. You'll be sorry, right? We don't know. But at the same time, none of these guys are talking about it, though. They're not forcing him to do it. They're not questioning him. They're not going in on him 24/7 because he didn't. It's amazing the type of fucking things that these fucking fools say because they're all disgruntled and hurt. That fool Gunner, he don't count for shit. He's a nobody. He's a Levi. He's this. He got to walk the yard with Marv. He's this, and that. All that fucking cantifla shit with your funny ass mustache. You say all this shit, but at the same time, there's a vato right there down the street from you. You ain't got nothing to say about what he says or doesn't say, right? Don't try to be selective politicking. Oh, it's because you're a bitch. That's what it's because. Straight up. And it's because no one gives a fuck about you and you're irrelevant. Here it is with Marvelous situation. It is what it is. He's going to have to worry about it. And people don't seem to believe how serious that thing is. First of all, that girl, you know, I'm sure it changed her life dramatically. She has a baby now. She was young. A baby having a baby, that's never a fucking good thing, right? Now you have a grown man, you know, who put himself in that situation, whether he was set up, caught up, lied to. It doesn't matter, homie. You touched her with your shit, and that's it. Period. You're guilty, homie. Guilty by association. You know, there's no way in the world. And look, and I've thought about it for days. I know me. And look, I'm going to give it to you guys as raw dog and real. And not because these punks told me to, but because I want to, right? There's no way I can have a conversation with a young lady, a girl. Okay, I got nieces. You know, I got daughters, little girls. There's no way I could have a conversation and not know right off the bat by their mentality, by the way they speak. Okay, I got a prima. I remember when she was 16, 17 years old. Old soul. We used to call her old soul. She liked the oldies. She liked the kick it, all that music, right? You can still tell she was a little girl. She still had Hello Kitty shit in her room. What I'm saying is this. You know, there's no way that a man can tell me point blank, face to face, homie, that you didn't know or that you don't know, homie. I know, homie. I know. You know, when you stop making excuses and start having accountability, that's when people will recognize and they're going to say what they say, and you just got to deal with it, man. You know, as far as me believing Marvelous's excuse, I know in the beginning I was kind of like, okay, there's the chick, whatever. And then as I started to think about it, like, okay, there had to be conversations, these DMs. What are you guys talking about? Color crayons? Like, I don't know what type of conversations you guys could be having that's going to, you know, lead you down that road. Believe me, it wasn't just, hey, one tattoo one day and this the next day. So anyways, without making it about Marvelous, because he has a lot to deal with, that's on him, not me, him. And all these other fucking babosos that want to go in on him every day. What if something happens to him, homie? What if something happens to people around him? What if something happens to, you know, others? You know, who's going to be liable for that? Inciting that, pushing that narrative. You know, just let it go, man. Let that vato fucking deal with what he's got to deal with. The best way to succeed in life, the best smile in their faces when something happens to them, homie, that you didn't even have to impress upon people. You didn't have to be responsible for it. Let them make their bed and lay in it. That's how I feel, right? I'm not sugarcoating it. Because Marvelous is my friend. He's not that. He never has been. Do what the fuck you got to do. I know how they get down in the suit. Shit, handle it, right? My thing is, what's up with Tony A from Rodium Radio? Why are none of you fucking poop butts talking about him or asking him questions? The vato was around him every day. Maybe he knows some extracurricular activities that were going on. Or maybe you're just too scared to ask. Or maybe you don't want to ask because he's from down south, homie, and you're playing that bullshit. You're playing that fucking, he's a homie from down here. We're going to give him a pass. Just like dudes from up north do, that's the homeboy. Like I said, my boy, he's from the bottom. We're going to give him a pass. But fuck these other vatos. Nah, the game don't work like that. Selective politicking will always get you caught up because in the end, there's going to be someone that doesn't think the same way you think, and they're going to call you on your bullshit. Hey, why was the homie good over here, but the homie wasn't good over there? Well, see, because what happened was because he was past Figueroa, and nah, motherfuckers don't care about none of that. The truth is, man, treat everyone like they're supposed to be treated. You know, don't select the politics. Well, your word doesn't matter. You're not. But then if my word don't matter, stop asking me to talk about it, bitch. Straight up, your word doesn't matter to me either. You know, but what word should matter is Tony A. But everyone's scared to ask him what's going on. I almost made a phone call to make a phone call to get his number and gave him a call like, hey, bro, you want to do an interview and talk about this shit? You know, you worked with Marvelous every day. You invited him to your podcast, bro. How was he? Did you see any of his mannerisms that maybe made you think there was some wild shit going on or something in his past? There's a lot of questions that could be asked, but none of these dudes are saying it. They're being quiet, scary ass motherfuckers, scared of fucking Tony A. I've met him before. Respectful dude, man. Nothing to be scared about. But there's something out there that they don't want you to know about, man. You guys noticed it? You know, you didn't see him questioning Hoodstock, say, when are you going to speak on it? When are you going to speak on it? He's choosing to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it on some grown man shit. All these dudes are scared of him. He's the boogeyman of the YouTube yard. Lucky from Hoodstocks, the boogeyman. He be punking dudes on his podcast. You don't see Blue Devil talking about him. Hey, when are you gonna talk about Marvelous Essay? You don't see fucking the other dude, fucking Cantiflas, number one mustache, ethnicity tribe. You don't see him asking questioning. A lot of these just won't do it because they're selective politicking. They'll talk about me. They'll talk about Dubs. They'll talk about people like Rascal and other people. But they sure won't talk about their own homies. Yeah, you're hard. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in. And here's the number one question. When is someone going to mention Tony A's name and ask him what happened with Marvelous? I bet you Blue Devil ain't. Nor Cantiflas. Or the other guy, Mohead. I had to mention you one time, bro. I'm done, though. I don't want to talk shit. I'm just being real. The gun.